problems. But the beauty of problems is that one solution provided leads to another problem. The mic is a bit temperamental. One solution leads to another problem. And therefore, if you focus your energies on solving problems, you are in business for life. Are we all on the same page? I mean, think of it. We worked very hard to develop mobile technology. So it's a solution for telecommunication. But there's also a problem of cybersecurity embedded in it. So it gives us another work to do. You solve it, then there's another problem in it, then it gives us another way. So if a nation or all of us decide to now focus on problems, especially in Ghana, I've been telling people that the easiest place to get a PhD is in Ghana because we have a lot of problems. We see drainage issues, so just focus on solving the drainage issue and you will see that your solution will lead to another problem. Somebody will focus on it. We have market issues, we have all this. So it's just about we all looking at the problems and being interested in solving them, because if you focus on problem solving, you are in business for life. And that's why anyone who decides to go the STEM way is going to be in business for life, because STEM is for solving problems. Now let me move to the second part, STEM or STEAM, because our colleagues in the arts are also contributing extremely to the advancement or solving of problems. So we tend to bring the A in the middle. But they are all enablers of solving problems. Now, what are STEM subjects? I'll touch on this briefly. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics. If you bring in the arts, then of course it will be in the middle there. But please, a statement of caution. Just as our minister mentioned to us, we should be careful that we do not build STEM to become what I call the silos of excellence. Silos of excellence. What we mean by silos of excellence is to have people who have studied physics and they are brilliant physicists. People who have studied chemistry, they are brilliant chemists. People who have done mathematics, so excellent. Anytime we are talking about STEM, look at it from an integrated perspective, where we are bringing the physics, the chemistry, the mathematics, the technology, and everything together to solve a problem. For me, this statement is extremely important. So we are looking at an integrated scientific approach to solve problems. Otherwise, maybe some years to come or generations even after us will question us and say that all we did was to publish the existing science subjects and call them STEM. The vision of STEM is to bring scientific knowledge to solve problems. Please, is that point okay? Good. So it must be product-based. What we call the product-based STEM thinking, how to make things. I'll give you a simple illustration. If you take this microphone over here, there is an artistic design. Why is the color this? So the visual arts person comes in. Why do we have this lens? The mathematician comes in. How is the sound being transmitted? The electronic engineer comes in. How is it being projected? The computer engineer comes in. How is it being produced? Manufacturing engineering comes in. So if you pursue STEM from a product perspective, you will see that by the time a product is finished, you have touched on science, you have touched on technology, you have touched on engineering, you have touched on mathematics, you have touched on the visual arts, you have touched on almost every component of knowledge that is required. And this is how STEM must be pursued. Otherwise, we're going to have silos of excellence. So the illustration I gave in the welding technology over there, you can see, can we have that please? Right, so you think about the robot arm over there. The angle is moving. You need mathematics over there. Then the laser itself, for those of you in the sciences, laser falls under physics, doesn't it? You need to know a bit of physics in that. Then for the laser to weld the material, you have moved into chemistry and material science. For it to stay, you also need manufacturing engineering. So this is the kind of STEM that, thankfully, through the Ministry of Education, we are advancing. So new product introduction strategies, I wouldn't spend too much time on that, but just to highlight that we have mapped the way to achieve this. But let me now move to the other part on requisite STEM teaching and learning strategies. Requisite STEM teaching and learning strategies. How can we teach STEM? How can we learn STEM to achieve this product-based thinking and this integrated approach? The first one is to use an approach at Pentecost University we have called a project-based learning. Project-based learning. We have experimented this with our engineering students, and it's working very well. We begin the semester with a project in mind that you are supposed to develop this product. So if you take a drone, you are supposed to develop a drone. If you take one of the beautiful projects they did, we brought some of them, maybe if time comes, they might be able to showcase it. Basically, looking at how sometimes some of us can leave our irons on, electrical devices on. You are walking in town and you remember that there's this device which you left at home. If you don't do something about it, the whole house can be on fire. Can you just switch the device on your mobile phone? This can be done using IoT technologies and all that. Yeah, this can be done. So if you give the students products as a project, they will bring all the needed skills in the various fields of STEM so that they will use it to solve it. So project-based learning for the teachers, educators over here is extremely important. Then we move on to the problem-based learning. Problem-based learning is highlighting a constant drive for people to appreciate that they are the solution providers for problems. Any problem around, teach them that they have to. In fact, when they see problems, they should be energized that, hey, money is coming. Money is coming. If you're a STEM person, that is how it is. Because anytime you see a problem, it's just like meeting a scientist and saying that something is not possible. Personally, immediately you tell me that something is not possible, you have just given me a research topic. You have just given me free money, because in my mind, I know that if no one has done it and I do it, I'll be rewarded for it. This is how we get paid, by being innovative. So teach them to have the problem-based learning. Then the third one is industry-focused learning. Industry-focused learning. And please bear with me, let me highlight this. By the grace of God, we mentioned again to the Minister of Education how we have had this wonderful grant to set up a Pentecost Engineering Village. And the vision is that on top of our STEM schools, we also need an institution that will absorb all these young people we are training in coding and all that at the university level. So ours is to set up a Pentecost Engineering Village which will absorb all these young learners so that their learning of STEM will be complete right from the elementary level, primary, secondary school and all that up to the university level. And this project is commencing this month actually. It's a 2-year project that we have received grant for it to complement what the Ministry of Education is doing to align ourselves with the government's initiative on STEM education. Okay. But in doing this, we mentioned the fourth industrial revolution, usually called Industry 4.0. In some nations, they call it Industry 5.0. But look at it carefully. There are some technologies that if we are perceiving, then in our country, we should be versatile in them. The first one is simulation. Simulation, being able to, before you introduce a product, to be able to model it graphically and see how the system is going to behave. As we speak now, there's a project we're working on with Kantanka, the car manufacturer. And the whole idea is that instead of investing heavily to construct a car, then later you see errors, we can build a whole production line on a computer and run all the simulations in such a way that before you invest money in it, you know that it's going to work. And it's not just in mechanical products, in hospital construction, in every business endeavor you can imagine, simulations can be done. Then we have system integration. I also mentioned the IoT, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, cloud computing. Additive manufacturing is just a fancy word for 3D printing kind of thing. But thankfully for the pre-engineering guys at Pentecost University, they are all introduced to additive manufacturing. We have some of the 3D printers over there, and they are producing parts. You literally just need a CAD model, then you instruct the 3D printer. 3D printing is basically like a big paint being brushed like that, but it's being brushed in the design of the product that you have designed. If we can get all our young people understanding 3D printing, dear ladies and gentlemen, we may stop the importation of Christmas toys, we may stop the importation of many parts, because in their own homes, they can set up a 3D printer and print products for themselves. Every home can own a 3D printer, just as we have paper printers in our offices. Then augmented reality, you move into an environment where you are able to walk through a factory, you are able to walk through all these spaces. I wouldn't have time to go through that. Then we have the big data, then autonomous robotics. Oh, I fancy robots. but are fancy robots in a way that they produce something. And that is how the robotics that our Honorable Minister talks about is. After we have designed it, constructed it, we also need to sometimes put it in a production environment so that it picks items, it places there, it arranges, so that the manual and the tedious work human beings are involved in can be replaced by a robot. This is the stage that our beloved country is heading towards. I don't have much time, so there was a video I was going to show you, the first-hand touch of Industry 4.0. But maybe if you get the slides, you'll be able to see it. It's me over there, I mean the third person. Yeah, just showing some of the Industry 4.0. I give praise to God and I thank God for the opportunity we had, because on matters of Industry 4.0, the fourth industrial revolution, I was part of the team that started off. There was a committee set up on that. We met in Windsor in Canada to launch it. Afterwards, it came to Europe, and the other Americans and all that took it. So these are things that we have spent years, although we are young in it, working in that. So you have technologies of computer-aided design, computer-aided manufacturing, robotics, automation, cyber, physical factory systems. In our engineering village, we'll be calling it the iFactory. Just throw in a bit of challenge to anyone. If you want to set up a factory to produce anything at Pentecost University, our engineers can now model it and run the simulation and help it. Together with our students, we are doing all these things. Electrical, computing and electronic systems, environmental, chemical, physical, mathematical sciences, engineering. Let me wrap up on that. So basically, we need an end-to-end learning perspective. What we have achieved so far, phase one. Can you help me with a slide on phase one? Phase one is the Ministry of Education pre-engineering programs at Pentecost University. We have had to go through steps. So we started with that foundational thing when our minister shared a vision with us. We ran, and because of my own background, I was so excited. I always say a story of my best PhD student in engineering was somebody who studied textiles. I mean sewing, textiles. And we were by then consulting for Jaguar Land Rover, and we needed to create a certain design, the Evoque model. Can you imagine? Because the person is a textiles person, and we quickly had to train the person that, look, the difference is in the materials. In the mechanical side, we are using metals. In the textiles industry, you are using cloth. So if you can visualize a human being and get a design that wraps around a human being beautifully, in the same way, you can extend that thinking into the mechanical field and design a car that no one has thought about. Truly, truly. She was a lady, a textile student, and she came out as the best. And that's why we strongly support that. You don't necessarily need to have a core science background. Once you can tune your mind to problem solving and bring your board, your artistic skill, your business skill, your general art skill with the necessary training, you become a useful instrument in the area of STEM. So we're working on that with a pre-engineering student. You've seen a drone over there. That's the 3D printer we have in our lab as we speak. We have some of our colleagues from Netherlands who visited, so we have partnered with a number of them, and Bountiful Technology, a US-based company. My dear brother, Dr. Seth Ogo, he's also so much passionate about STEM. Right, so a lot going on there, and we want to use this platform, can you give me the next slide, to thank again our Honorable Minister and the Minister of Education for the donation of the bus, because now we have a bus that can bring our students to campus for this engineering project. So we call it a pre-engineering bus, and it came in handy. It saved us a lot of money, and now we have them coming on board. So we move to the phase two, which is the full STEM undergraduate and short programs. We're doing the manufacturing engineering, electrical engineering, robotics and automation, environmental engineering, systems engineering, and many other programs. The last bit, which is the full postgraduate STEM programs, also having at the master's level what we are calling the intelligent engineering systems. We contacted GTech, and thankfully just last week they came for the accreditation exercise. Our joy was how they celebrated the innovation, because there is no institution doing MSc Intelligent Engineering Systems. Then we moved on further to what is called the PhD STEM programs. Again, the accreditation exercise was just last week, I think Wednesday, they came. on that. Because we need the full length, right from the basic level to the pre-engineering, to undergraduate, to masters, through the PhD level. Wait and see how our nation will turn around with this vision of STEM. Let me end over here because of my time. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Another round of applause for Prof, please. Thank you so much, Professor Kwabena Agyapong-Kodia, Vice Chancellor of the Pentecost University, a man passionate about innovation. And I mean, one thing that I know a lot of young folks here should be paying attention to is the fact that we have no excuse to fail, all right, in future. We have all this, and I know people who are probably not considering themselves young, but who also want to embark on this journey with us. So, yeah, brace up for the race. On that note, we want to have some questions, very few questions. We're going to have a second part of questioning, by the way. That's for the Kodabot team. But because our Honorable Minister is here, we want to take a few questions quickly before we proceed. So, if you have any questions to ask, I would appreciate my gentleman here passing the mic into the audience. So we have a microphone to the audience. Yes, please. Thank you. We're taking just three questions, please. And we're taking all at once to save time.
So good morning. My name is Desmond Kichi from the Volta region, Ho to be precise. I'm the CEO and founder of Genius IT Foundation, and we are actually championing STEM education in the Volta region. And I'm very glad to be here today and to listen to the Minister of Education and also to listen to the brilliant speech from the Pentecost University. Just last month or so, we had one of the Pentecost University students do internship with us, and she was very brilliant. And so I can say that Pentecost University is doing a lot and is very good. I have two questions. That's to the Minister. That is the strategy to make sure that STEM education spans the entire country. Looking at what we do in the Volta region as a foundation, we realize that there's a huge gap when it comes to providing these opportunities to young people across the entire country. And what is the government's strategy to partner private sector as well? That's NGOs and stuff like that to promote the STEM education. Secondly, just last year, we had an accreditation from STEM.org. It's a US-based STEM institution that accredits or accreditates institutions and also trains people to become STEM trainers. So last year we got this accreditation from the US, but in the course of the training, I got to discover that STEM spans beyond just the engineering, but also STEM can be considered as a mindset. And if this happens, it means that we are not just going to be training people to become engineers to produce hardware and software, but this software should be ingrained into people's mindset as to how we solve problems. So if we could come up with ways that we can teach STEM across different disciplines, where people can learn to solve problems as opposed to just coding. Because one of the challenges we have in Ghana is our ability to solve problems. We tend to know the solution, but how to arrive at the solution is where the problem is. So if we are able to teach STEM as a mindset, STEM as an attitude, then we should be able to solve problems to the root instead of always brushing at the surface. And that, I think, would help. So this is a question and then also my comments. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Two more. And please, let's have a lady in there. Let's have a lady in there. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Akins Asai from Oriens Montessori Spintex. My question goes to the Minister. I would like to commend him and then the government for the various STEM schools they are trying to build around the country. But my question is, how do students get into that school, looking at how few the number of STEM schools are? What is the criteria for admitting students into it? Looking at what he showed, I think they are building one at East Legon. So is it not going to be a situation where the normal thing, the affluent people get their kids inside, leaving those in the villages to also still be like the schools under trees? So I just want to know how people in the rural areas, or let's say the small towns, are also able to get the opportunity to be in the STEM schools that they are developing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. How public are the public institutions? Okay. A lady will do. Okay, the final gentleman before a lady. Please, I want a lady to ask a question. Hello, ladies. Are we here? Why did I include myself? Okay.
Thank you very much. My name is Dennis Dedichum from St. Peter's Lutheran School. It's a beautiful work you're doing there, Minister. At a point when I looked at the prototype, I was wondering if this was in Ghana. Thank you very much. But, just to support what my brother said, I was just wondering, this is a beautiful edifice, and money must have gone so much into this. But I'm wondering, the number of basic schools in Ghana, how many of these can we have? Can we not consider having some aspects or some parts of the basic schools, maybe some labs, develop the labs into some parts of it that we can benefit? I mean, all the schools can benefit, rather than having, this is beautiful, but how many of Ghanaian children can this accommodate? So, Minister, maybe you want to consider some part of all basic schools, including private schools, some part of their labs being upgraded to some level that can help with this area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to take the last one first. We have not left out the rural schools. That's where some of us got our start. So we haven't forgotten them. Then again, evidence-based communication. If you can show some of the village schools that we have done, I think to give you a very good idea that it's a balanced approach and not an issue of urban area. You hear of East Legon and say, oh, the affluent, but it's not just always affluent. So he may be able to show you some of the rural schools that we have revamped. They are going to be part of what's called B-STEM. Those schools are going to get mobile labs. In fact, we have UNICEF designed something called Learning Passport, and they are in our schools now. About a week ago, Huawei donated equipment for schools in rural communities to get smart boards and all those other gadgets. So it's not just an urban initiative. It's all inclusive initiative where rural communities are going to benefit tremendously from the innovation that has been championed especially by CENDLO, Center for Distance Learning and Open Schooling. Their TV station should be up and running by the end of the month. We have a Ghana MOE TV, 24/7 production, and it's going to be exciting. Our STEM courses will be shown, and teachers can tap into it. So it's not just an urban proposition. We are including everyone. If you show you the images, you're going to see a place called Jetokoi in Volta region in the South Tongue, and a building, existing building, and a new one that has been done so that we can do STEM education there. So various things are being done to ensure that we don't leave anyone behind. I think there was another question from Desmond about the strategy in terms of STEM initiatives in Ghana. We have a STEM policy. We have a STEM division within the ministry headed by the former provost of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Adum Asamoah, who is fully in charge of that. We have engaged stakeholders extensively. Our Pentecost, our University Vice Chancellor, our Chelsea University President. These are individuals that we have engaged over the years so that we can really fine-tune a STEM agenda that can serve our nation very well. There was a question about critical thinking. Let me tell you this. If you happen to be an education minister who knows something about education, in the US for many years, building schools in Los Angeles, charter schools. So I'm one of the luckiest education ministers. And on top of it, I have a PhD in education. So there's nothing education that I don't have an idea of, and I also have good advisors. So what we try to do is to create an ecosystem of education which is very different. And that is why we have seriously looked at our assessment regime in Ghana. Had a meeting with WAEC about 3 weeks ago, and I made it very clear that the tail is not going to wag the dog. What did I mean by that? What I meant by that is that we can preach about critical thinking. If by your WAEC assessment exams is not assessing critical thinking, you are in trouble. I had a meeting with them. I was questions that was going to come on the BEC. And I was using the New Bloom taxonomy as my benchmark, looking at knowledge, understanding all the way up to creating. What I realized was that most of the questions was up to level 3. 4, 5, and 6, which will ensure that the students were thinking critically, was not part of the exams. So how can you create an examination system that is encouraging rote memorization when you are preaching about critical thinking? Our examination system should ensure that students are being assessed at the highest level possible, and then people will teach to that. Because you see, sometimes in education we say that we have curriculum, instruction, and assessment. Design the curriculum. Teachers will teach. Then we assess. But invariably, assessment comes first. People look at the kind of test the students are going to write to determine how and at what level they teach. So create is at the highest level. Evaluate, analyze. But if your exams is only talking about remember, understand, what is, where, label. That is remember, understand. If your nation's education system have an examination body that is focusing on remember, understand, and apply, you cannot be the nation that produces the critical thinkers to change your country. So this is something that has to happen. And I'm happy that we can hold people to account to say that our examination regime must be as robust as the same examination regime that is provided under Cambridge and also by the IB, International Baccalaureate Program. Students who do those curriculum think differently. Our WAEC must ensure that our children are thinking differently. So in terms of critical thinking, I think, and this is how it's linked up with STEM. STEM is a culture. STEM are values, about critical thinking. I tell people that if a student takes a course in philosophy, he's as good as somebody who did engineering because they know how to think critically. And you can then get them to solve problems because now they know how to think critically. I think the next one, and also partnership with the private sector is key. If you look at what Pentecost University is doing, they have received international grants, they are building an engineering village. This is not a government agency, but if you support them, they bring more resources to the table. And I know our professor is able to innovate because the academic board is not on his tail, the way they'll be on the vice chancellor's tail at a public university. He has more room to bring his experience to bear. A young Ghanaian, talented individual who have seen it all abroad, coming back to Ghana in a private university space and bringing about innovation. If you look at the engineering courses Pentecost University is doing, so innovative, so advanced, they are going to move Ghana into a different sphere of influence when it comes to engineering. But you know, if you look at what they are doing in electronics, systems engineering, and all those fields, I think it's great to have people in that space doing more for our nation. So I think if we can show them the village schools so that people will live here understanding that we are not actually leaving out our schools in the rural areas, and through the B-STEM, we are able to provide mobile labs. Not this one, this is a city school. Possible. So I got a distress call, interestingly, through a friend in Germany, that Jetokwe is in trouble. And within the last 3 months, things have changed there, and things are changing. This is their new school. And a number of schools are receiving this intervention. It's not just Jetokwe. Aza, Asempaneye. And invariably, most of these schools are under a tree. So when the rainstorm comes and rip up the roof and the building collapses, then it becomes a tree. None of the schools and the trees are started under a tree, but they are in dilapidated. So I believe if you look at before and after, in Tefre Wasu, you see that wooden structure down there? Now, they have that new school. All across the country, different things are happening. New school buildings are being constructed. Others are being demolished so that we can have a better learning environment for our children. I think I've tackled the questions. And in your, we also are providing computer labs for them. This is Aza in Yellow Kromo. Look at before and after. And it's by the roadside. And you go. This is, and I'm not come here to lie to you and. If I left.
Hello.
It's good.
Hello.
Oh, okay, so maybe just two more. So let's do it. Yes.
I thought you said 3.
All right. Thank you very much. I'm Saint Bafwewa from Kumasi, the manager of Little Angels Academy. It's an all-inclusive school whereby we give children who are challenged, children with special needs, to have the opportunity to also come learn. And colleagues and honorable, it will baffle you to know that children who are challenged, if only they are introduced to the non-traditional system of learning, these children are able to catch up. We have several children who are into coding and are also doing robotics. Now my question is, first question to the Honorable Minister of Education. Years to come, if you are no more the Minister of Education, or excuse me to say, if your party is no more in power, what becomes of STEM, the fate of STEM, if a different political party is to take? What will be the transition? And secondly, to the Codabot. All right, Codabot. Where do we go from here as far as the private schools are concerned? Thank you very much.
Last one. Thank you so much. I am Augustine Mensah Huhuai, the administrator at Agbe Educational Institute. Dear Minister, it's good to see you again. I was privileged to meet you in one of the NAPS meetings, and so I'm grateful to see you again. And I really want to just add with what he said. I was going to ask along the line of what he said, but I will put it this way, which is what I want to say. I want to ask, how can we separate the educational system from governance so that there is a continuity at every time when we have good things that run through the nation? Because the nation must be built, and we cannot build it with ideologies that may be the same but are trying to present them in different ways, and so different people change it at any point in time. But if the continuity is constant, then we can just even vote for anybody who is happy, and then we know that the basics that we have called out for is constant with us, so that we can become the first century people that we want to be.
They said this was the last one. Yes. It's becoming too political. But I just want you to know that unfortunately, divorcing education from politics because of risk is impossible. You like what you are seeing, right? Keep me there. And you are voting for my government. You see, he doesn't want to vote for me. You see, he doesn't want to vote for my party, but he wants the work to continue. Changing mindset is impossible. So I think most of these reforms are going to be protected at the ballot box. So you may not like many things, but if you are sitting in this room like my sister who is smiling, and you look at the innovation that is coming, you say, because of just this, let me stay. But you should also know that we have an education strategic plan. We have a term policy. I think we as a people are going to have to say to the political establishment, do what is right and keep the nation going. Because I don't understand how we jettison all this great progress that we are making because we are from a different political party. How we stop the STEM transformation because our party is not in power. There was a recent question by one political leader who said nothing has happened in Northeast. The slash and burn politics, you guys, everyone, call the politicians to order. Because see, we are not building the self-efficacy for us to develop our nation. When we continue to make everything political, we have a nation to build. Let's focus on building the nation, then everybody can be a politician. And the nation will move on. Until that time, politicians should be called to order. For them to know that not everything should be reduced to politics. I'm serious about it. I was in the United States of America. I was there for 26 years. I built schools in Los Angeles. Nana Addo Dankwa came there, saw me before he became president, and asked me to come and help him change the education system. I had 200 workers that I paid every month. I decided to come back to Ghana like my brother, the vice chancellor of Pentecost University, because I thought that I had something to offer this nation. I came deputy minister and I'm the minister for education. My focus is very clear. We need to change Ghana. And I believe that the better days of our nation is ahead of us. And when I see people reducing everything to politics, I say to myself, where do we go? See, this is a high school in Ghana. About 10 of them have been created. This is in the Northeast. Beautiful high school by everyone's standards. But a political leader said nothing good has happened at the Northeast because we want to score cheap political points. This is a high school. So you say nothing good has happened here because you want to win power? I think it's in your hands. You have to call us to order. You have the vote. You have the power. Help change the course of history of this country. And it's in your hands. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And keep clapping for him. Thank you so much. A lot has been said already, and I'm sure for most of us who have more questions to ask, I mean that's why we're here, right? It's supposed to be a very interactive segment, so we have a special place for that much later on. So please hold on to those questions, and we all know, as problem solvers, we will never stop asking why, all right? So we know. So we have a special part of the program for that interactive session. But quickly though, I think a lot has been said by some of our key speakers, but we're leaving out one thing, and that's a student that this will be affecting directly. So ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to introduce this part of the segment where these young innovators who have worked diligently to tackle real-world challenges with creativity and determination, they have a soft presentation for us. So please, let's now have the student presentation of problem-solving projects. A round of applause we do, please. Yes. You're allowed to look back at your time, their age. Yeah? You're allowed to throw back to what you were doing at their age. Feel free. Don't be hard on yourself. Better now. Now we know better. Our children will do better than we've started. Right? Thank you.
Good morning to you all. Please, my name is Eric and I'm from... we are here today to present to you one of our problem-solving projects that we've done with the school. So I'll hand over the to students for them to present it to yours. Okay, thank you.
Good morning to you all. Mr. Honorable Minister of Education, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols are observed. My name is Kwanzaa Isabel, and my partner here is
Ayuba Frances.
We are representatives of Clever World International School. We are here today to display our new invention called the Auto Bin. The work of the Auto Bin is to help us prevent the constructing of germs and bacteria.
The Auto Bin is being programmed to the extent that it can detect a distance of 30 centimeters using the ultrasonic sensor, while as the microcontroller is used to make decisions for the dustbin. And also the motor is used to regulate the cover of the bin. We are here to do a demonstration on how the auto dustbin works. A scenario of a person who has tuberculosis coughs into the tissue.
A person who have COVID-19.
If auto dustbins are being introduced to schools, hospitals, and other institutions, it will help reduce diseases, infections, and bacteria. Thank you.
Oh, please give it up for them, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Thank you. Oh, do better for them, please. Do better for them. So when you see some of us around your homes with laptops, don't stop us. We are on a mission to make life good for everybody. Just cough, okay? Just don't stop me. I know what I'm doing, all right? A round of applause for them, ladies and gentlemen. We have more of such to display, and it's also good that today is the beginning of a new dawn for the Codabot team here. So definitely we'll be encouraging a lot of our students, pupils to embark on projects like this. So watch out for more refined and advanced Kodabot projects. Another round of applause for them, please. Thank you so much. Time now for me to again acknowledge the presence of some of our team, the incredible team Kodabots. We already know our country manager, the man who brought in Kodabot through our airports. And I want to say this, Dr. Albert Kwame Mensah, thank you so much for leading the charge. Please, a round of applause for Doc. Thank you so much. Of course, it's not here alone. We have our founder, the CEO himself. This is Kodabot Global. So clearly Ghana, even though we are the newest or the latest addition to the Kodabot Global family, we are hoping to show that we deserve the top spots in terms of our deliverables. Can we do that together? And show them that Ghana is a good place to invest in. So thank you so much, Mr. Kok Hong Inge. Yes, and then we have, he'll be speaking to us much later on, by the way. We have Dr. Sajadi Sayyidab Dolrizani. I hope I got that. Well, those of you, he's going to join us online. It sounds like those of you who are fasting ICGC. It's like I'm praying with you, my brother. Don't worry. These are heavy names, and people like that with alphanumeric passwords, you can hack into their system. Yeah. Then we also have Mr. Keys Anijera D. Kulchba. Thank you so much, from the Netherlands. And he has a talk on STEM and education by an engineer. So he will be giving us more of such details much later on. So, Albert, so now I know the minister would want to take leave of us. As protocol would demand, please, let's be upstanding. Let's rise. Thank you so much. It's been an impressive Monday mid-morning with him. I think it deserves a round of applause, please. It deserves a round of applause. Thank you so much, Honorable Dr. Yao Osei Edichum. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So, all right, let's humbly resume our seats. Next, we have a speech by our Kodabot experts. Yes, and yes, please. Picture time, sorry. Picture time. Let's do that quickly. Photo time. And the school kids, please join us. These are those who are coding our future. Oh, a round of applause for them. A round of applause for them. They're the reason we are here. Thank you. And please, can we have one with those who had the project done for us, please? Please. Yes. Yes, please. Okay, thank you. So please stay put. Now all of them. Yes. Thank you very much. So our global CEO and founder will stand by. He will stand by in a bit. We have a word from him. All right. So he says we should give him a minute. Please, this is my opportunity to ask, do we have single ladies here? Single ladies, they trash? Before they come back in, I'm recruiting. Hello? Please, single ladies, technology, but you can be single. Hello? I hope they don't hear me. Okay, do we have single men here? Single men? My brother, relax. My brother, relax. Single men, just give me a wave. Don't worry, I know times are hard, but people are getting married. Hello? Yeah, so please, before they come, technology, in between technology, science, and the rest, we have love. Hello? Everyone deserves? Sorry, do we have anyone from the north? Any of the regions up north joining us here today? Any rep from any of the schools, the institutions? Okay. So from Kumasi, can you give us a wave from Kumasi? Oh, please give it up for them. Give it up for them. Give it up for them. Thank you so much. Impressive numbers. From Tadi and its environs. Anyone from Tadi? Anna Henri Kodo. Tadi. It's not happening there. Okay. The Bono side of the... None? You just pretend you're from there. Give me a wave. Or maybe if that's your hometown, just own your spot. Eh? The Volta region. Yemala. Yema. Yekwema. Volta mo padisyon. Yee. That's beautiful. Okay. The Greater Accra region. The Greater Accra region. So please, the rest, where are you from? The rest. Okay. Okay. Cape Coast. I still see some people. So those who are not from anywhere, may we help you? So sorry, you're from Cape Coast. Thank you. Cape Coast. I see 6. Cape Coast again. Yeah. Oh, now 8, 10. All right. So please, the rest. Where am I leaving out? Because yes, Ghana is bigger than the names I've mentioned. I know. So where are you representing? Oti? Yeah, my bad. Oti? From Jessica up. Oti? Oh, interesting. But hopefully we get to spread the word. All right? It's very important. Yeah, we need more problem solvers. Thank you. Please, do we have the team from TV3 here? TV3? Okay. HR has asked me to ask. TV3, okay. Any media house present? Any media house apart from the Koda team? Any media house? Okay, TV3, all right, thank you. All right. Oh, please, a round of applause for them as they... Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, so we'll have our founder share a few thoughts with us. In your absence, we're just talking about how we can advance together as a people in promoting the tech agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I have my slide? I'm so excited to be here today. Thank you, Albert, for inviting us here to be part of your event. You know, as I was listening to the Honorable Education Minister of Ghana, as well as Professor Reverend Agyapong Kodua, I'm so impressed, and I also get excited because this is exactly what we are already doing and which we hope to continue to do in the coming years. Okay, do you mind if you on that TV over there? Yeah. So, I was reintroduced to the continent of Africa in my adulthood maybe about 20 years ago. I call it reintroduction because I'm no longer in school and I came. In my previous life, I was a chairman of a public listed company in Hong Kong, and my business, my years of experience have always been in mobile industries. As part of my business, I was introduced and invited to join a conference, not unlike something like this, in Amsterdam, close to 20 years ago. And the theme of the conference was the mobile industry future of Africa. And that's how I got introduced to Africa. Now, it's not working. Okay, so Atlas tells us how big Africa is. When I open up the book of the Atlas, Africa is not very big, but the first thing, that the person, he was a Motorola head of Africa, and he says, how big is Africa? Now I'm talking to a group of Africans, I'm sure you know. But for Asia, obviously, there was an eye-opener for me. So I understand how big it is when I attend the conference. And that stuck with me for the last 20 years. And the second thing that I took away from that conference was how vast the potential that Africa offers. I'm so sorry, I'm a businessman, so I talk from that angle. Please accept my apology. Now, the third thing that he mentioned to me, the challenges that you will face in Africa. The three things that I took away 20 years ago. And it was in my mind, and very soon when I went back to my town, I put it on the back burner because I do not know how to approach it. The only time I did business in Africa was to go to Morocco and sold hundreds of thousands of phones to Morocco Telecom. That was the only time, and then it became a past to me. Until 10 years ago, I was introduced to a brother. He came to my church, I invited him to my home group, and we had a many long discussions. He has this idea of giving back to Ghana, and I really like the idea from him. And we will even talk about how we're going to set up an NGO, etc. And it was before Kodabot was even birthed out. It was years before that. It was 10 years ago. And we discussed and, don't know how to do something in Africa. But today, I'm here because of what he is. Thank you, Albert. Thank you so much. Okay, so a little bit about, before I go to my advisory board members, and you can see my beloved brother is there, right there with me, But what we have done, I've heard from a brother here talking about neurally challenged students. Now in Kodabot, we also offer courses to students that are neurally challenged. We offer them STEM program. We offer them IoT. We offer them different things. In the coming year, our calendar starts in September. We'll be even talking about hydroponics and aquaponics for them. So we even have obviously to teach them, we need to have an additional teacher, and they are trained teacher together with our STEM teacher as we offer them this course. At the same time, we also offer elite schools, right? Schools that are really good. I think the minister talked about people who are memorizing by rote. So these are the top schools. They memorize, right? Everything, and they sit for the exam just to pass and to excel, isn't it? So we also teach them STEM, and they. You'll be surprised. They have not much exposure to STEM. But we also have the privilege of teaching in Hong Kong. Right now, the government schools are divided by band. Band 1, 2, 3. Previously, there was 5 bands. Now they shrunk to 3 bands. So we offer our programs to band 3 schools as well. They are not really that keen to teach, to learn coding. They want to learn through their hands. They want to learn by assembling, by creative, etc., etc. So this is a different approach. But because of our wide, being blessed with a wide range of schools, we have to customize our module to fit each of these schools. Yes, fit them. And as you know, STEM, it is good to